going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-15 Carolina Panthers. Why the Carolina Panthers 0-15? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there spend any time with me at all? Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Or anybody at all watches the replay of this, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Got anything to say? Anything at all? Put it in the chat box here. All right. I'm going to go about 30 minutes, as we usually do here. I was kind of wondering, how Wan'Dale was doing. And, boy, you never – well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you never get – even Joe Judge, they're all like that. They give you, nothing. Really, I mean, as far as any type of updates at all or anything like that. But apparently, Wan'Dale is day to day. Now, in his little article I was reading here, when Dable says day to day, that could mean anything, pretty much. This is what from the Big Blue View. All right, Brian Dable did not offer much of an injury update on rookie wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, who left Sunday's victory over the Tennessee Titans with a knee injury after playing only 9 snaps. Dable said that Robinson has a knee and is day-to-day. But the thing is, what they're pointing out in this article is what we're learning about Dable, first-year head coach, is that when it comes to inquiries, pretty much anyone not put on the injury reserve list is day to day. And pretty much that can mean anything. That means that, tonight's Tuesday night. So when the Giants go back to practice on Wednesday, what they're saying in this article, it means that Wan'Dale Robinson could be available to practice on Wednesday. Right? That would be day to day. It could also mean, the second round might miss a couple of weeks. Now, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, for example. They say in this article here. He's been day-to-day since suffering his sprained MCL when that dude came in there and, it's a legal block, but, you wish they could do something about it. But, I mean, Kayvon's been pretty much day-to-day. And then Azeez Ojulari, when they were running those sprints and he hurt his calf, he's been pretty much day-to-day since then. They were day-to-day the week before the first week of the first game of the season. They were day-to-day, Didn't play. They're still day-to-day. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see exactly what the day-to-day means for Wan'Dale Robinson. But the shame of it is, and they also pointed this out in this article, he was playing in front of dozens of family members and friends in Nashville. And he had 1 catch for 5 yards before leaving the game. So he had played 9 snaps. He had the 1 catch for 5 yards, and that was it. So hopefully, hopefully wish him nothing but a speedy recovery and all. But just another top wide receiver for the Giants. Well, he's not, I can't say he's injury prone, right? But I hope he doesn't catch the bug from Golladay and Shepard and Kadarius Toney. All right, then there's another article here I saw. Points out 4 Giants who must play better in week 2 versus the Panthers. And let's see. First one they got here is Kenny Golladay. Now that's kind of, I mean, paying the dude $18 million. Now, I also heard from Patricia Traina. She's on Locked On Giants. I try to listen to her podcasts or watch her on YouTube every morning. She was bringing up, I think it was her who was bringing up, that the Giants might quite possibly maybe look to get out of Galladay's contract after the season's over with. They can, they're gonna get some dead cap money. That's for sure. But they'll get out of this contract. They'll save some money, but they'll get him off the roster. Okay. That might be one of the reasons why possibly they didn't look to maybe to extend or not extend, restructure his contract, shall we say. All right. They just want to maybe get it off the books, like take the hit maybe next year. And after that, it's gone. Like what they did with Leonard Williams, they restructured it. They got a void year, right? It was like, I believe in 2 years, it's $6 million of a voided year that they'll be on the books for. So unless they re-sign him, but I tell you what, if they want to re-sign him, it's going to be for a heck of a lot less money. But I mean, that might be a reason why they didn't try to restructure Kenny Galladay's contract, maybe because they just want to have him play this year, let him go, take the dead cap hit next year, but they'll save some money toward the cap as well too, and get him off the roster and get guys in there, okay, who can play under the system. I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't really know what they're really thinking. I mean, last year when Gettleman brought him in, but it seemed like he might have been more suited toward the Clapper, Jason Garrett's offense than he is maybe toward a Brian Dable offense. Okay, he's got go down the field 50-50 kind of ball kind of guy. I mean, every now and then you'll see him out there running, and he's open, but far too not. I mean, he's quite disappointing for $18 million a season. It's now I can't say so much it's all his fault. I mean, because he does what he does best. And that doesn't play to the Giants' offensive strengths. Well, then it's going to, he's not going to get as much the stats that we'd like him to get. And, of course, then it's going to want to, right, looking bad on him. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, getting a running back who only runs between the tackles, okay, and then you bring him in here, who does very good against the tackles, but then all you want to do is run like, tosses and sweeps and stuff, like having him run everything outside. It just doesn't play to his strengths. So, I mean, obviously some of it's on Kenny Golladay, but did we really bring in the proper guy for the system? I mean, what Gettleman brought in, or did Gettleman just want to make a big splash in free agency and bring in like a high priced wide receiver? That might have been the case as well too. But anyway, the Giants, the first guy's got to play better, Kenny Golladay. Giants wide receiver room looked troubling at times during the game. In the end, the number one pass catcher from the unit was James with 5 receptions. And he had some very good punt returns as well, too. Shepard, who had one of the biggest plays of the day, finished with 2 receptions for 71 yards. Well, you figure they had 17 completions, right? Saquon got 6, James got 5. So that means there was 6 other receptions. Chris Myrick had 1, right? Okay. Wan'Dale Robinson had 1. So that's 13. So it was 4 other receptions to go around between Kadarius Toney. 4. And Kadarius Toney didn't have 1. But I mean, between Golladay, Shepard, and Kadarius Toney, there was 4 receptions left over after Myrick, Richie James, Saquon Barkley, right? 4. So, oh boy. To the shock of many, Kadarius Toney barely saw the field, whether it be due to the injury or an undisclosed issue, which might be. And he might also not been, he missed a lot of time in training camp, okay, with his, his injuries and all. So maybe he just was not, maybe he knows you can know the plays, but to know them up here and to actually go out and perform them is sometimes it can be 2 different things. So maybe coach didn't think he was as prepared as he should be, hopefully this week coming up against Carolina, especially if Wan'Dale's not in there, maybe we'll see Kadarius out there a little bit more, hopefully. Let's see. But Kadarius Toney, the second-year pass catcher, was kept primarily on the sidelines. But he was highly effective when the ball was in his hands, recording 23 rushing yards on just 2 carries. And then there was Kenny Golladay. The Giants veteran receiver played the entire game, but was barely utilized. He had 2 receptions. Golladay finished with 2 receptions for 22 yards. It's not the performance that the Giants are looking for from the wide receiver number 1. When the game was on the line, Golladay wasn't the player that the Giants looked for to make the big plays. Yeah. It seemed that Jones had more of a connection with James than with Golladay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as I said, James had 5, Myrick had 1, right? Robinson had 1, and Saquon had 6. So there's 13 out of the 17 receptions right there. So, I mean, you figure, our big 3. You figure Shepard, Kadarius Toney, and Kenny Golladay. There was only 4 other receptions left over between the 4. I mean, it's when the Giants brought in Golladay, they anticipated that he would be the same player that he was in Detroit, a reliable deep field threat who can consistently make big plays. While he's yet to do that with the Giants, a strong outing in week 2 could be a sign of what is to come. When the offense was firing on all cylinders, it looked full of potential. There was a clear place for Golladay within the unit. It just needs to be found. Yes, it does. Now, the next one who needs to play a little bit better they got here is Austin Calitro. Okay. Now, one of the problems the Giants have always had, had for a long time, you can even go back to Jason Witten. We don't have linebackers who can cover. And Hilliard caught 2 touchdown receptions. Okay. Caught the 2 touchdowns that the Titans had. He caught them. Okay. He was covered one. The first one was by Calitro. The second one, Jay Crowder, was like, my God, he was like 5 yards away from him. I mean, Hilliard caught the ball, ran it down the side for the second one, and Crowder was like, 3 yards away from him. I mean, it was just like, he was far away. Now, I don't know if we're going to try to make, I can certainly see us maybe trying to target possibly next year in the draft, maybe a cornerback. But, it'd be nice if we can just get and it's not easier said than done, I know that, but a linebacker who can cover. My goodness. We were not talking about the Titans offense. It's not like they got Derrick Henry. They got some guys who can catch the ball, and Tannehill's a decent quarterback and all and everything, but it revolves around Henry. We're not talking, the greatest show on turf here or something. The Giants are going to face some teams that have better receivers, better quarterbacks, better quarterback play. All right. And we were having a hard time covering the running backs out of the backfield. So, but they were talking about Austin Calitro here. When the Giants released starting linebacker Blake Martinez right before the start of the season, they knew that they were facing an issue at that position. Oh, yeah. Jay Crowder currently serves as the leader of the unit. And while he's been tackling machine, he's also struggled heavily in certain areas of this game. Yep. The release of Martinez elevated every other Giant linebacker up the depth chart and has now put preseason standout Austin Calitro in a starting role. Calitro's performance in week 1 left much to be desired, as it could very quickly lead to the Giants addressing the position in some way. Calitro recorded 4 total tackles and 2 tackles for loss. But much of his success was found in the second half, and many of the defensive errors he made in the first half are what put the Giants in the position that they were in. Like I said, the first, he wasn't real far away from Hilliard. It was a nice pass, a nice catch in the end zone for Hilliard and all that and everything, but Calitro was the one covering him, right? Calitro struggled heavily in coverage. His struggles led to the Titans exploiting the linebackers. And got from Alex Wilson here, a tweet. Titans are straight up just targeting the Giants linebackers and having instant success. And he's like, we all saw this coming. Lots of laughs. Dan Dugan. Giants go 3 and out, give up a 46-yard punt return, then easy 5-play TD drive, capped by a 7-yard pass to running back Dontrell Hilliard against Austin Colitro on coverage. Yep. So Titans running back Dontrell Hilliard ended the day with 3 receptions for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hilliard was the primary benefactor to Calitro's poor coverage. All right. Well, it says Calitro was on the receiving end of both of Hilliard's touchdowns. I'm not sure about that. I seen the second one. Looked like Tay Crowder was running after him. So, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, regardless, right? A linebacker should be covering him. So, and we have a hard time, okay, covering for our linebackers. All right. The other one, they got another guy. Darnay Holmes is another guy who needs to play better. All right. Throughout training camp, cornerback Darnay Holmes seemed destined for stardom, especially early on. What was it? First 4 days of training camp, he either had a turnover or caused a turnover or something. He looked like he was off and running, huh? He was the unheralded hero of the Giants defense during the beginning of training camp. And many were placing high expectations in him. When the Giants lost James Bradbury, Logan Ryan, and Jabrill Peppers in free agency, many were concerned about the state of the secondary. The duo of Holmes and Aaron Robinson were going to skyrocket up the depth chart and into massive roles. Yep. During the preseason, many were worried about Robinson. He struggled heavily, yes he did, and didn't seem to be prepared for a starting role, but he played well in week 1. Instead, it was Holmes who seemed to fold under the pressure. Now, Holmes is the one. It was that the final pass completion. The one, it was a nice pass by. You got to give Tannehill props there. Nice pass. Toe to side. It's a tough play, tough throw. Toe to sideline. The guy's running away from Tannehill. He drops it over Holmes. Right, Holmes was. Let me see the picture. Holmes was about a yard or so away. Okay, but the ball was right there. Phillips got it right on the outside. Just before he goes out of bounds, gets his feet in. Big play, put him in good field goal. I mean, decent field goal position. Okay, but Holmes was the one guarding him. Okay. Let's see. In the fourth quarter, during the Titans' final push down the field, Holmes was on the receiving end of several bad plays. In total, he was called for 2 penalties that allowed for the drive to continue and was on the receiving end of reception that put the Titans in field goal territory. Yeah, but it was a good pass, though, too, and a good reception. With the Giants' secondary as depleted as it is, Holmes is one of the few options, and he has shown how good he can be. If he can put the struggles of week 1 behind him and put on a big performance in week 2, the secondary could be in good hands. All right. Then the first guy that they have here in this article who's got to step up his game is Daniel Jones. All right. Yeah, in the end, Daniel Jones did enough to earn the Giants' victory. He finished the game with 188 passing yards. It wasn't 188 net passing yards because you take the sack yards away, and he had like 154, I think it was. He had 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. 1 interception just basically took at least 3 points off the board. At least 3 points. On the ground, he added another 25-yard rushes on 6 carries. Okay, he had the big, toward the end there, he had the big 4th down conversion. Right? Let's see. Week 1 served as tale of 2 halves for the quarterback. A poor start in the first half put the team in a position where they were forced to play keep up later on. Well, I mean, yeah, part of it might have been his fault, but I mean, holy cow! I mean, the first quarter, could we block anybody? I mean, some of the defensive linemen looked like they were in the backfield faster than Jones was. I mean, holy cow! But when the second half began, Jones was leading this offense into an efficient manner that hasn't always been seen in the past, which is true. Okay. Then you got the the touchdown pass to Sterling Shepard. But you know, I mean, but this interception, I mean, he thought he was going to like a back shoulder fade to Saquon Barkley, I think it was. I mean, even Dable said in the press conference, it's like, I went over, I talked to him, I said, I said, what did you see? And Daniel Jones said, I was going to try to do a back shoulder fade, and Dable's like, and that's not what I saw. So, but I mean, it's, he just seems to do this. He just seems to, the turnovers in the, in the red zone, with just taking points off the board. It's just, you can't do that. I mean, if we, had those 3 extra points, it would have been huge. And it also shows, Dable.
Always talking, always teaching, always coaching.
Going over there.
Over to his quarterback say, what'd you see? What happened there?
Yeah.
Saw him trying to back shoulder. He said he was
beat
his lip saying back shoulder.
Yeah, Dable went over to him and, we're just talking to him, obviously it's very frustrating. I mean, the points are at a premium, and that field goal would have been huge. The Giants would have kicked, would have been huge, but it is what it is. So Daniel Jones got to step it up a little bit, but I mean, Carolina's a decent team. Don't get me wrong. They lost and this, that, and the other thing, but any given Sunday, right? Especially when you're the Giants, right? And you take somebody lightly, the Carolina's going to come in here and smack us around, right? So the Giants got to be very, very careful, without question. Okay, they got to be very careful. Then there was 5 plays here. All right, that defined the victory for the New York Giants going against the Titans. Okay, play number 1. Okay. So on 3rd and 8, they're at the Giants. Tennessee's at the Giants' 28-yard. The Giants' defense line holds the Titans to a field goal after 3 great defensive plays, which was huge. Because, I mean, if they gave up a first down there, Titans go and score another touchdown. I mean, it's like 14-0. The Titans are off to the races. It's like, okay, yeah. Right? The Giants were down 7-0 with the offense unable to put any points on the board. They couldn't even get a first down on the board, right? In the first quarter. The Giants could not afford to give up another touchdown. They were already 6 plays into the defensive series, and the Titans were threatening. On first down, the Giants stopped Derrick Henry for a 2-yard gain. On next play, they executed a great stunt and created pressure with four guys to make quarterback Ryan Tannehill throw the ball away. Then on 3rd down, Oshane Ximines was able to apply pressure from the left side, which made Tannehill get rid of the ball sooner than he wanted, hitting the back of the end zone. The Titans settling for 3 instead of coming away with 6. And the score improved to a still manageable 10-0 instead of 14-0. That was huge. Play number 2. They have here 3rd down and 4. This is from Sports Illustrated. 3rd and 4, the Giants 5. Giants force another field goal, which was huge. After Daniel Jones' turnover, yeah, but I mean, could we block anybody? I mean, I don't know anybody who's going to be able to hold on to that ball. I mean, right? I mean, the way he got tomahawk chopped out of his hand. I mean, the way he got hit. I mean, tough to hold on to that ball. Yeah, he turned it over. Yep, yes, he did. It counts against him. Yep, yes, it did. But can we block somebody? All right. On first down from the 11-yard line, the defense stopped Henry after a 4-yard rush. Then stopped tight end Jeff Swain as soon as he caught the ball, limiting him to a 2-yard gain. On 3rd down, the Titans tried another play-action pass, but there was nobody open but Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill was then forced to check it down to Henry, who could not catch the ball because he had a giant bearing down on him, which is true. He went out of bounds down at the 5-yard line. Tannehill was looking to Henry, and right, Henry was at the 5-yard line. The result was another stalled Titans drive, resulting in a 3 instead of 6, which this all came back to bite the Titans in the rear end, right? Because, they got down there. If one of those drives they scored a touchdown on, they might have won the game, plain and simple, right? All right, then the 3rd play, right? Play number 3 was 1st and 10 at the Giants' 10-yard line. Saquon busts a big one. Coming out of halftime, the Giants defense was able to force a quick 3-and-out. That put the ball back in the hands of the Giants offense, which desperately needed to get on the board. Desperately. In steps, let's see. Running back Saquon Barkley on a stretch play off the left side behind left tackle Andrew Thomas. Barkley found a crease. It was a nice size crease, I'll tell you what. And exploded down the sideline for 68 yards before forced out of bounds. That was pretty. 3 plays later, Barkley finished the job with a 4-yard touchdown run to cut the Titans' lead to 13-6. Yeah, the guy who came over, made the tackle, pushed him out of bounds, got a good angle on him and all and everything. I was kind of hoping Saquon would run down the sideline. The guy was coming over, and I was kind of hoping he'd be able to juke him and cut back inside and take it to the house, but that didn't wind up happening. But we still got the points on the board there, although the botched extra point almost came back to bite the Giants in the rear end as well, too. Yeah, so every play counts, man. Every play counts. That's a point right there, right? The extra point. Daniel Jones throws the interception in the end zone that takes 3 points off the board. There's 4 points the Giants should have had, right? So that way, they didn't have to they wouldn't have had to gone for 2, right? If they would have got 7 the first time, and after Shepard's touchdown, they would have had 14 points, right? Then Daniel Jones throws the interception. If he didn't throw the interception, that would give us at least another 3 points. Then we'd be up to 17. Then you score a touchdown at the end there, and you kick the extra point. Now you got 24. Now you're up 24-20. Now you're forcing the Titans to walk down the field and score a touchdown, not just getting field goal range, right? You can make it a lot tougher. All right, then finally we got here. Play number 4, all right, as they got is the one that goes to Sterling Shepard for the touchdown. 2nd and 11 at the Giants 35. After a first down run by Barkley lost a yard, Jones decided to trust his receiver to make a big play. Well, they didn't so much trust him. I mean, the Titans defender was caught looking in the backfield. I mean, he was covering Sterling, right? And once Sterling kind of got like a little behind him, I mean, I thought the guy he was like looking in the backfield. I guess he thought Sterling was going to settle down. He didn't think Sterling was just going to keep on running, but surprise, surprise. Daniel Jones threw a deep pass to Sterling Shepard on the left side. Shepard beat his man and not only caught the ball, but he shook off the tackle, okay, and allowed him to run the ball into the end zone for the Giants' second touchdown of the game, and they tied it up 13-13. Unfortunately, right after that, the Titans marched down the field for the go-ahead touchdown to make it 20-13. But the big play number 5, all right, was 2nd and goal at the Tennessee 1-yard line, okay? The result was a touchdown and a 2-point conversion gave the Giants their first lead of the game, which is huge. With 4 minutes left in the game, the Giants drove 12 plays at 73 yards to come away with the touchdown. Had the Giants not finished this drive, the game likely would have been over because the Titans would have likely drained out the clock. Giants methodically worked their way down the field, and eventually they landed at the 1-yard line, with Jones connected with fullback / tight end Chris Myrick for a 1-yard score. So Chris Myrick has 4 receptions in his career, and he has 2 touchdowns. Actually, he has 4 receptions in his career, 2 game-winning touchdowns. All right. He caught the 1 touchdown reception against the Eagles last year, which provided to be the difference maker. The Giants won 13-7. And here he caught a touchdown here. And then with the 2-point conversion, the Giants wound up winning 21-20. The success of Barkley running the ball made the play action fake left Jones more believable. Because as you see, okay, you see some guys when the ball is snapped, right? There's some guys start following Saquon because biting on the run. But then when you look, I mean, Myrick's wide open. I mean, when Jones hits him, right? If you look, there's almost like 3 Giants to that side of the field, and there's like 2 Titan defenders. There's a third Titan defender who comes over, but he's like way late. I mean, I don't even know who the hell's supposed to be covering Myrick. He was that wide open. But that's what the running game can do for you, right? That's what a good running back can do for you, right? Saquon was on freaking fire, right? So what's it going to do? He starts going to the left. Daniel Jones starts rolling to the left. Maybe look like he's going to go hand the ball off to him or something like that. What's the defense do? Defense follows him. Jones turns around, goes to his right. Chris Myrick is wide open for the touchdown reception. Right? Then on the ensuing play, head coach Brian Dable, showing all kinds of cojones, decided to go for a 2-point conversion with a shovel pass straight out of the Chiefs playbook. There you go. Rather than kick the extra point to possibly send the game into overtime. Jones connected with Barkley on the pass, the shovel pass, and the Giants came away with this stunning upset. Of course, it didn't hurt either that the Titans missed the field goal there at the end of the game. All right, that didn't hurt either, But I mean, the Giants have had a bunch of bad luck. My goodness, we go back all the way to 2017. How much bad luck does the Giants have had? I mean, it's nice to know just every now and then, hey, got a little bit of good luck coming to us, So, but that's 31 minutes. A lot of talking, a lot to go over. But the Giants got to be careful, because you got Tennessee. You got the Panthers coming in. Okay, and I said the Panthers are 0-1. All right, they actually were winning. Cleveland kicked the winning field goal as time ran out. All right, if he missed it was a 57-yard field goal, I think it was. If he missed that field goal, Carolina winds up winning. So. It's any given Sunday. Who expected the Giants to go into Tennessee and wind up winning, right? Not many people. Maybe some people might have picked them or whatever, but for the most part, nope. Okay, any given Sunday, the Giants have to go in there, right? Treat this as like their Super Bowl, the game of the century. They got to go out there and give it their all. Okay, and they can do that. They certainly got a very good shot at coming out with the W. Then after that, they got the Cowboys, the Dak Prescott-less Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to want to roll with Cooper Rush as their quarterback for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks. Because by the time Dak comes back, if they don't do anything, right, and Cooper Rush is their quarterback, hard to say that they're going to be out of it, okay? But, I mean, if they have, 2 wins, if they're 2-5, 2 whatever, it's going to be tough. Very, very tough for them. So it'd be interesting to see if the Cowboys make any move to do something to maybe replace Dak Prescott for these upcoming weeks. But if the Giants got to play against Cooper Rush, Giants have another shot at winning another football game. But first things first. First thing, we at 1 o'clock this week, home game, New York Giants versus Carolina Panthers. And with any luck, Giants can take care of some business and go 2-0. Wow, wouldn't that be just absolutely fantastic? Well, guys, I said, it's been 33 minutes. Anybody at all, I say I got 1 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Anybody spend any time here at all watching this, or anybody spend any time at all watching the replay of this, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day or out of your night to watch this video. I greatly appreciate it. Somebody just gave me another thumbs up. Oh, Micah H. Love your channel, brother. Keep going. Oh, we will. Thank you. I thank you so much. So much. It means so much to me. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But as I said, anybody watching or anybody's going to watch the replay of this, thank you so much. You guys absolutely freaking rock. You guys stay safe out there. And as always, go Giants. Woo!